Michael Jackson achieved fame on a bigger scale than any other celebrity. His fame transcended all racial, national, political, and ethnic barriers. He appealed equally to members of both sexes. His appeal was global.
In 1988, Michael, for the first time, met Diana, Princess of Wales. And that must have been a big moment for him, because here was a kindred spirit.
Michael Jackson is known as the King of Pop, and Princess Diana is known as the public's princess. And so I wonder whether they had an affinity with one another.
Would you like to say a few words to your fans, Michael? Anything else?
Happy to be here.
How does it feel to be meeting the royalty tonight?
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Diana, Princess of Wales, was perhaps the only other public figure who lived a life under such intense media scrutiny. In 1988, Michael Jackson met Diana for the first time. Here, we see Michael having to take his place in the receiving line. It's noticeable that on this unique occasion, he is not the most important figure in the building.
They were both certainly followed by paparazzi an awful lot, by the media, by fans. They must have found it very, very difficult to have time to themselves, to be able to live a private life, so that everything that they do is documented and out there in the public.
She had to live with the same kind of media pressures that he did, and there would be an instant bond there where both could understand the realities of their situation. And in a way, he couldn't really communicate that to anyone else.
This is the historic footage of that first meeting. Michael was clearly relaxed, happy, and hugely enjoying the experience. The mutual attraction was understandable, as only someone like Diana could possibly begin to understand the pressures on Michael Jackson.
I think probably if you look at their lives, you can see a lot of parallels, or where he could see a lot of parallels. She was a very, very famous lady, always in the media attention, probably in a situation whereby she didn't quite feel that she was understood, that she was portrayed, that she was almost controlled, which was something that he would feel very much was the case for him.
Perhaps very isolated, perhaps caring for the underdog, perhaps not knowing who around them that they could trust. We have heard very much about sort of disruptive families.
representation in the presence of the Highness. Pepsi and Michael have had the opportunity to do great lot of things together. But the best kind of things we do is help disadvantaged youth. So both of us like to present this to Princess Trust and Great Ormond Street Hospital. Thank you, Representative.
Michael genuinely believed that he had a responsibility and a duty to help others who found themselves in difficulty. Michael's work on behalf of children was genuine charitable work, which raised huge sums.
The dollar was rising now, so get a little bit more. Represents all three outlets.
So far, we're ahead.
Princess Diana was obviously speculatively supposed to have a lot of eating disorders, the same kind of problems that he probably would have been able to relate to very much.
They both had public adoration, but perhaps privately they felt quite isolated.
Diana was to be a major influence on his life from this moment onwards. One other friend who played a big part in Michael's life was Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth was to prove good and faithful friend. She did a lot of very good work to help Michael through his life.
I think it's fair to say there was a very feminine aspect to Michael Jackson's persona, and I think that's one of the reasons why he found it so easy to forge friendships with women.
For Michael, female figures were very important to him. If you look at the relationship with his mother and father, it was the mother that he held more on a pedestal than the father, who, to some extent, he would have not blamed, probably too harsh a word, but would look back on and think were the cause of some of his underlying problems there. So females were quite important to Michael, and I think he felt he could relate to them and trust them even. Particularly females that were in the spotlight, because again he could draw a parallel to the way that they were treated and how he behaved and how he felt. There was definitely, obviously, a much more feminine aspect to Michael. We could tell that through the way that he reconstructed his face and his whole persona. Interestingly, though, apparently he had two voices. Now, again, this is speculation, but apparently when he was interviewed, he had the media voice, which was very effeminate, and then he had a much gruffer voice, which he would speak to staff with when he was in a position of authority.